Previously in X-Men, Kitty Pryde and Peter Rasputin, also known as Colossus, have had a genuine, albeit problematic, romantic relationship for the 2+ years since Kitty joined the team. Things got rocky when Colossus suffered a near-fatal injury in battle, and Kitty sacrificed her freedom by promising to marry the subterranean mutant Morlock Caliban in exchange for the healing expertise of another Morlock. And while on Battle World, far from Kitty, healed, Peter fell in love with the alien Zaji, who was then killed during Marvel's Secret Wars. I am Jason Lapidus.
I'm Chris Sanagan.
And we are Group of 7 Comics. Welcome to episode 103 of our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic, as we read Uncanny X-Men 183 by writer Chris Claremont, penciler John Romita Jr., inker Dan Green, cover date of July 1984. Chris, how are you?
I am good. I'm ready for this episode. And I brought a beer to drink because this episode takes place in a bar.
That it does, and it's a good one. There you go. What do you... Oh.
Cheers.
Uh-oh. There you go. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, my man.
Do you want to talk about beer first, or do you want to talk about comics
beer I'm
first?
drinking? Well,
is it worth talking about, or not really?
I mean, I enjoy it. It's actually so for those of you not in the know, we're both just in the Toronto area in Canada, and I'm drinking actually beer from Michigan. Founders. It's excellent beer from Michigan. I was down in the States a few weeks ago, picked up some excellent beer, bring back home. So there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, how about you?
I'm just drinking a Heineken. That's what I have in the fridge.
Nice.
It seems to go over smoothly with all of the guests I have that aren't big drinkers. So whenever I have them, and also they disappear from my fridge pretty quick when.
And in an uncanny turn of events, previously in X-Men is now sponsored by Heineken.
Yeah. Let's just give a quick hello. I see Jason Siri says the first X-Men comic I ever bought. Wow. That's cool. I don't know. Did you buy it based on the cover, Jason? Or is it something that appealed to you? Or was it one of those things that was on like a spinner rack? I'm not sure of your vintage, like how old you are. So if this one was something you would have picked up, or was it, I'm interested. It definitely wasn't one that I caught as a kid. I was just coming onto comics about this time, and I was not onto X-Men yet. I was onto Alpha Flight and G.I. Joe at the time. And David Cutler says, "Hey, hello, Chiefs. Let's talk. Why not?" David, hope you're well. I got some David Cutler comics right here, buddy. Got
What?
Alpha Flight. Yeah, David, remember he was telling us he got to do some fill-in pages in Alpha Flight?
Fill-in pages. Is that number 5? Mine's absurd.
This is number 5, yes.
Okay.
And with this cover is by another Canadian, Leonard Kirk.
Oh, sure, of course. Did he do all the covers?
I think he's doing them. I think he's
okay.
The cover artist on the run, which is fun. That's a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to. I haven't read it yet. Sorry, David, but I'm looking forward to that one for sure. And we were just talking about this X-Men Classic cover.
Yes.
And Chris was saying he doesn't like it, and I think that's
first viewing.
That's fair, Chris. I mean, we got these two. And when you compare them, I can see why you don't like the other one. But it's funny because it's Paul Smith.
Right.
But it's, remember, a decade later in Paul Smith's evolution. It's also in the age of digital coloring. So if you look at Juggernaut's shoulders, like this sort of airbrush kind of white highlight along his shoulders, and the soft in the stuff behind him, and those purples, like. It's not a hard cut between colors. It's like a blendy look of the colors. Mm-hmm. And it's very unappealing to certain people. Then you get the computer lettering, the boys' night out at the bottom, which doesn't really add anything.
Right. What year is this X-Men Classic?
I'm going to say it's 89, maybe 90. I'm going to look closely. No, I'm way off. It's 1993. So this is into the Image era in terms of, like I said, the digital coloring. I'm sorry to put myself so close to the screen here, but I have to look at it in another Yeah, it's 93. So aesthetic has changed in comics.
Yes.
Detail matters more. Extremism matters more.
Extreme.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Extreme.
like David says, it's Paul Smith trying to blend into the 90s. Looks a
Okay.
bit odd, but I like it. Yeah, I think there's nothing, it's fine. I don't like the almost complete lack of overlap between Colossus and Juggernaut. Like, if not for the shoe heel and Juggernaut's shoulder,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you just get him like floating, but I do like Colossus's anatomy. Like, I like that arm, those muscles on the arm are really cool.
I kind of like there's definitely with the JR cover, the initial one. I do like the unmasked. That's something fun about unmasked Colossus or unhelmeted Colossus.
Juggernaut, yeah.
Sorry, Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Right?
Chuck says the classic is
Marco.
way more dynamic, weird coloring aside. Yeah, I think if you look at the well, yeah. I think they're both good. I enjoy the JRJR one, but the colors on the men's clothing is funny.
It is,
but it's okay.
It's
and
80s.
Howdy to you, Chuck. David says, yeah, it's a bad almost tangent at the Colossus's foot and Juggernaut's thigh. Yeah. There's just something weird about that. I think you rework it a little bit, you can get something. But speaking of reworking, there's a whole market of people who create, and then on the market who buys cover recreations. And I found one today. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to stop sharing this thing, and I'm going to share something else with you. You ready?
Okay. I'm ready for it.
All right. Let's see if I can get this looking good.
Hit me, baby.
Now, can you see that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
This is a close-up. I just wanted to come back and see what you see for a second. Ooh, okay, so there we go. You can see quite a bit of it. I'm going to go full screen with it for a sec. And we can look through this. This is a cover recreation of, obviously, 183.
Yeah.
And you can see that the artist has used screen tones to lay down all those, kind of to turn the colors into grayscale. So there's some variety of grays, different screen tone on like the sides of the letters versus the fronts of the letters. Screen tone on everything, really, like all the figure work, all the Colossus. It's different screen tones put on and then chipped off, scraped off with the knife and with white media. But like, look at this punch. Like, I don't know how well this would print back in the day, but and the manga influence is super strong there.
Sure, yeah.
Man, is that ever like? I love the fist size to wrist size. Like, his fists look like massive hammers, and then Juggernaut with like ripping through his clothes is cool. You get enough of the Juggernaut brand there, but enough of him in his civilian clothes. Yeah, really. I think it's a great, great recreation with a flair.
Do we know who did this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick Dragotta. Well, there's the whole thing. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Good. I think it's a good looking piece.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that one.
I wonder though about just I know it's so silly to get into arguing about this, but at his best, even, can Juggernaut be knocked over? Like, can a Colossus punch actually knock?
Is there something to do with the helmet?
Well, his power
and reduction of power.
No, the helmet is there as far as This is so silly to even. The helmet is there as far as I know to prevent Professor X from meddling.
Oh, it's one of those helmets.
It's one of those helmets.
Excellent.
Yeah. But his size is enhanced by this ruby.
Right, the ruby.
And is it the ruby of Sidorak? It doesn't. Someone on the chat will.
I think it's Belasco.
Belasco, the demon.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a twist, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, he's enhanced, but I don't think he can be knocked backward or like knocked down. if he's advancing, no force on Earth can impede his progress, as far as I understand. But
Right.
that's, you know,
I mean,
my
that's what I
understanding
got from Vinnie Jones's performance.
For those who haven't seen, check out X3,
X3.
The Last Stand. David Cutler adds, on the Paul Smith one, Wolverine looks like he's one of the cowboys from Winona Brown
Beaver. A little Primus reference.
Good deep cut. That one I know.
Cut.
Right. Nick Dragata did it. I don't know the name. I don't know who he is. If he's, you know.
I think I might have gotten David's first reference. I know it's The Simpsons. Hey, Chiefs. What does it go back? How's it going? Let's talk. Is that from the Mr. Sparkle episode?
Hello, Chiefs. Let's talk. Why not?
Is that from Mr. Sparkle episode where Homer gets in touch with Japan about his likeness on the Mr. Sparkle box? David, I'll have to let you weigh in on that one. But Mr.
David
Sparkle.
Says,
hey, yeah, he's on the phone. He's like, hey, G, let's talk. Why not? That's right.
The ladies always be checking his fist size to wrist size. So if he's caught off guard, Jason says you can knock him, and it's Sidorak.
Sidorak, right?
Cool. Doctor Strange cast a popular spell to him.
Oh,
the Crimson Bands of Sidorak.
There's a Doctor Strange connection.
Is that true? Like I know there's that ruby, and I know the Crimson Bands of Sidorak, but are they? What's the connection? I'm interested. So yeah, David's choice to come in with the Mr. Sparkle.
Mr. Sparkle. Yeah.
I love Mr. Sparkle.
Mr. Sparkle. Okay.
Oh my god! All right, we have to move on past that.
Mr. Sparkle's fantastic.
Is there anything you want to talk about before we dive into this thing?
Well, you know what? We can just share a couple of quick things. One, if you are following us on Instagram at the moment at Group of 7 Comics, and both on our personals there as well, Chris Sanagan and Jason Lapidus, we are releasing a brand new comic, few panels every day in the month of December. We're up to day 12, December 12th today, and about 30-ish panels have been shared on our Instagram feed, so about a third of the book. By the end of the month, we'll have a brand new full Peregrine's adventure. This one is called Peregrine's Badlands, and things are just about to get wacky. So that's what I want to put out there. If you're following us on the socials, check it out. It's a fun new book fun new story that we're creating kind of on the fly every day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's all very true.
Do you want to share something?
I can actually share the next page if you want.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
This is our crowd.
Yeah, that's true. Just for
heaps.
Fun. I'll open up my Photoshop there.
There you go. All to say, the last panel is they come through a waterfall and are astounded to see this.
It's not easy to see here. I can
it's true.
Zoom in a little bit, but this isn't a full screen kind of. But this is it's not coming through so clearly, but also everything else is open there. But regardless, this is like a big full page splash reveal. Yeah. This takes up 6 panels. So tomorrow will be a 3-panel day. I'm going to break this into 3 panels and then share it also as one big. Yeah. But in the book, it'll be a giant splash. But this was so much fun to draw. Our own kind of journey to the center of the earth, savage land, craziness.
That's right.
And fun.
We're feeling very Jules Verne French inspired at the moment. Yeah. As we head to France in January to take part in the Angoulême Festival of Comics and bande dessinée and those things.
Crazy.
Hey, if you're in Bordeaux in January, come see us. That's where we're going to be.
You'll be able to get our trade of Most Secret Tale and the Angoulême exclusive, the Angoulême special, as it's called, a Peregrine's volume here that has 2 issues of the ongoing series, 3 Instagram one-shots in a limited edition trade paperback, which will only be available at Angoulême. There's just the copies that are in France, and that pile right there that is for you and me and your kids and my kids.
I think they're in France right now.
I think they are as well.
I think they're France right now.
Yes. David says Group of 7 are very respectful to comics. Could you see that they are serious?
But we are very disrespectful to dirt, David. Very disrespectful to dirt.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness, Jason, this isn't the time for it, but I'd love to know more about your Photoshop workflow. Have you ever done a live stream while you're working? If, funnily enough, like this is the time for it. I mean, I don't mind speaking briefly. Very rarely, because I don't think anyone would ever be interested except for you right now. Um, I have done a live stream on Photoshop twice. Once for a workshop during COVID, and then the other time for a workshop during COVID, where you and I, Chris, hung out with a bunch of were they Beavers or Boy Scouts or a
Oh
mix?
no, they were
Girl Guides? I don't
I think
remember.
they were guides or sparks. I don't
We
know if
couldn't
that's the
see
one.
them, right? And so all little kid voices are the same to me. I just remember you and I hanging out with a bunch of kids, but
Yeah.
we were on our computers at home, and I drew one of the peregrines, and on Photoshop while we were hanging out, which was fun. And then the kids wrote the script. Remember that?
That's right. Yeah.
They wrote that one line about it. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It was fun. So
That's
those
right.
only 2 times I've done live drawing on Photoshop, I think. But I'd be most happy, Chuck. You can always send me a message, and I'll answer any questions you have about that. Or if you ever want to hang out during one of the days when I'm working, I'm happy to stream while I'm working away. It is hard to talk and draw. At least it's hard to talk coherently and draw, like put together good sentences. I have a lot of ums and ahs because my processor isn't where it needs to be the best at that. But I'm very happy to be transparent about my workflow. Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
All right, so headed to France in January. That's going to be fun. I'm nervous and excited, and we got some vacation time. Got all of us coming up as we get to winter break. But before all that happens, got this here.
Yeah, X-Men to go through first.
I got this bad boy. Look at how. I mean,
that is many issues.
Like, it pales in comparison. Right. Like this thing is massive.
Are you suggesting that our output is comparable to the Essential X-Men Volume 5? Is it?
It is Volume 5. Very good. And of course, this paper is super thin. So this is so many issues. It's ridiculous.
So many issues.
So many issues. And I'm going to indulge by reading it in this because it's just so crisp. I got to tell you guys, if you haven't seen Dan Green over John Romita Jr. at this moment in time in 1984, it is pretty heavenly most of the time. I know JR hasn't hit his blocky phase. We could say he's still aping, maybe subconsciously his dad and a good dose of Paul Smith and maybe some Frank Miller here and there. But boy, oh boy, does this stuff ever look great with the naturalistic, organic inks of Dan Green. Like really, really beautiful stuff. All right. I should bring the comic into the stream. There we go.
So I'm happy the first few pages are just Colossus and Kitty. I'm happy to do both.
Yeah, if you want to do both, that's
happy totally to give her a go.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to say about this cover? Have we talked everything about the cover?
We're good.
We're good? All right, cool. Those are some flashy duds both are wearing, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Like, I also love how Juggernaut's, outfit is underneath his...
right. I think that one is a communication bit.
I think so. I agree. I just,
Just, let the reader know this is...
Just in case, he's got a spring into action.
Yeah.
Right. Here we go. Ready?
Oh, wow.
What?
That sky. That's gorgeous. I've been reading this without color.
Oh, of course you have.
I've never opened the original one until today, but I didn't look at it yet. That's really nice.
Okay. Are we go? Okay. So this one's called "He'll Never Make Me Cry," and it's written by Chris Claremont. John Romita Jr. and Dan Green are the artists. So there you go, co-artists. That's different.
No, they've been doing that a lot lately, actually.
Have they? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't been paying attention.
I think it's a sign that Dan Green is doing a little bit more finishes over John Romita's loose pencils.
Okay.
That's what it reads like to me.
Understood. All right. A lovely day. Sure is. How do I tell her when I know it'll break her heart? He's so tense. I've never seen Peter so upset. He's hardly said a word to me since the X-Men returned home. Whatever's troubling him must be awful. Gee, you and the X-Men got kidnapped to the far side of the universe, and you didn't take me along. I'm hurt. Anything interesting happen out there? I met someone else. We fell in love. Oh. I wish I knew what to say, Kitty. Tell me it's a joke. Tell me anything but the truth. Trouble is, you're too honorable to lie. That's one of the things I love about you. Anyone? Anyone I know? No. She was a native of the planet the Yondu created, a healer. She saved my life. So did I. Was she pretty? As beautiful as the dawn, as gentle as a spring rain. Poetry from a man who said he never had the words to express what was in his heart and soul. I guess he found the words. For her. Never for me. Shut up, Peter, please. Don't say any more. It hurts too much. She was a country girl from a small farming village like my home in Russia. I still cannot believe she's gone. She died in my arms, Kitty. She gave her life for mine. He really cared for her. He still does. His voice sounds just like that Grandpa Pryde's when Gran died. I'm sorry for your loss, Peter. She must have meant the world to you. As much as you once did. Once? I would give anything for this never to have happened. That makes two of us. I did not mean it. I did not want it. But it has, Kitty. I cannot deny what I felt and still feel. I understand, Peter. You pick up the pieces, start over again. This is very hard for me. It's easy for me? Kitty. Why won't you call me Katya anymore, Peter? Have I changed? I have. My feelings have. I care for you deeply, Kitty. But the love I felt, the commitment, is no longer there.
I love these 2 pages so much.
Yeah, they're great. Eh? Sorry, we don't have to keep going. We can
No, it just
kind of revel in this a bit.
It's such a nice thing to look at, you know, with the switching between the purple and the magenta and the yellow of the characters' clothes and like the dark blue, and I think it just looks great. And it could be the most boring talking head thing of all time, but it really, really works.
It does. There's a ton of emotion here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is soapy. I agree. Jason says it's soapy, but I think it's
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And you know, again, we're seeing a bit more. So different hairstyle on Kitty.
It looks good.
It does look good. And what I was going to say though is that it kind of ages her a bit more too. So maybe this conversation is a little more grounded and real because of that.
Right.
That's all. That's what I would suggest.
This is the first time we've seen her look like this in this series.
Yes.
This is an adjustment. It's like, you know, you break up, you get a haircut. Or, you know, a girl, like, they'll get a makeover after the breakup. So
you go to space to fight an intergalactic battle. You get a haircut, you know. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Hey, God. Why me, huh? What'd I do to deserve this? It isn't fair. It isn't right. Well, I've always wanted what was best for you, Peter. If that means you loving someone other than me, I guess those are the breaks.
Okay, let's just stop for a sec. Sorry, dude.
Sure. Yeah.
So I know it's harder to see in this. The line work on Kitty's face and in her hair is really quite fine. There's like a lot of detail in, you know, each of the strands of her hair. And then you go down and you look at the fat ass brush that Dan Green is using on her jacket. It's like he's like throwing down lots of ink. Like some of those brush strokes are massive, and it works so well to like switch between the really thin lines and some details on her face, like on her lips, really fine. Maybe it's pen, and then like a nib, and then real fat brush on her jacket, and like the variety of line adds weight and adds just a nice visual quality to it. It's really nice looking. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, of course not. I hope we can remain what?
Are you there, God? It's me, Shadow Cat.
Excellent. I hope we can remain friends. We're X-Men, Peter. That's a bond nothing's supposed to break. Look, I hate to run, but I've got a lot of homework. I better get back. We'll talk later, okay? See ya.
So you paused there, which
Yeah.
was I thought really good. Like between in the reading, you will talk like I gotta run. I got a lot of
Yeah.
homework. I gotta get back, and then we'll talk later. Okay. To me, that's two different word balloons. Like you'll see when a letter our stuff. Whenever I think it's like two thoughts, I break them into two different balloons for like just that the pause when reading, even if the balloons are attached. It's just the fact that they're in two different bubbles, I think helps illustrate that it's not one thought. That makes sense?
I do, yeah.
And I think I could have used it there. So I'm criticizing the lettering. I'm coming for you. But yeah, anyway, keep going. Thank you.
One thing I also as I read this previously, I really like that line where despite any interrelationships that happen, she's like, we're X-Men. That's a bond. Nothing's supposed to break. Like the team is actually more
right.
of more importance. Right.
She gets it. And that's one of the thesis of the book, of the issue.
Yeah. I dig it.
Is that she's showing that she respects that.
Yeah.
That the team comes ahead of feelings.
Yeah.
And someone else has got to learn something here, buddy. Someone's being a selfish prick.
That's right.
So let's see how that plays out.
Okay.
This mansion has been Kitty Pryde's home for nearly 2 years. She was a child when she arrived. Now suddenly, she feels as old as time.
I should call Mom for advice. Find out what she did when Dad told her their marriage was over. Aurora's watching. I guess she knows. Everyone probably knows. Don't sweat it, Storm. I'm a big girl. I can handle things fine. I'll make you proud. I'll be as strong and tough and heartless as you. That was cruel. She cares. Maybe she was trying to warn me when she told me nothing lasts. That in the end, we all live our lives alone. If I fall in love, I said, will it only be for a little while? Will the person I love stop loving me? Now I know. Trouble is, I never dreamed that happen, much less so soon.
How did it go, Kitty, with my brother?
Peachy keen, Ileana. What'd you expect?
Girl.
No, really, Lockheed. I'm fine. I. End scene.
It's good. No, it's really good.
It is really good. I also love the the scene is good. This is really emotionally Elias. But what I love is the roommate is had to go with my brother.
Yeah.
Right?
It might be nicer if there was a little, maybe some diversity in the gene pool within all the relationships. But yeah, the sibling thread goes a long way.
Yeah.
And then there's this fun poster on the wall.
Right.
It's like Charlie Chaplin in sunglasses or another Tom Selleck.
It's a Tom Selleck-ish, right? I think.
He's getting so much love in this series. It's really quite funny.
Tom Selleck, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my son just sent me a message to say that the actor who plays Captain Holt died. Andre Braugher?
Andre Braugher?
Well, I'm just getting a message from my son, like in real time. That if that's, I mean, regardless, you can hear him messaging me probably.
Oh.
Okay, this is funny. He writes, Captain Holt died, and the next message is the actor. I get it, dude.
You're like, I know.
Not Captain Holt, my neighbor.
Right. Oh, that's crummy.
Yeah, it is. That's very sad.
He's enjoyed Andre Braugher's performances, which I have, like from in a number of things. He's a fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, he's great, and that role is so iconic for him. There'll be generations that will be doing Holt impressions and Holt references.
Oh, of course.
For the rest of their lives. I regularly for my daughter do Captain Holt trying a marshmallow for the first time.
Oh, right.
So yeah, he's a special one. That's sad. And 61. I hope for him it was quick and painless.
Brief illness. After I just Googled it. Brief illness.
There you
61. Go. No, that's a shame.
There you go. Andre Braugher, from a comics point of view, of course, he was in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer as the.
Was he?
the general who was standing in Reed Richards' way to save everybody.
Wow.
He sided with Doom, and it cost him. And he got turned by Doom, I think, like to get smushed or turned to stone or whatever. But
Okay, there you go.
There you go. Buried 10 meters below the mansion is the X-Men's training complex, where they and the New Mutants, their mentor Charles Xavier's novice students, hone their various abilities. Rogue? She activated a combat sequence.
Come on, you ugly suckers. Y'all supposed to be tough. Is that the best you can do?
The moment Rogue falls, Aurora's hand flashes to the abort switch, terminating the exercise. But instead of shutting down, the robot moves in for the kill. Storm's lightning bolt strikes first. Goddess be praised. She seems unhurt. What possessed you, girl? Not only working alone, but running a program that might have meant your death.
It's my life, Roro. Do with as I please.
So long as you're an X-Man, you are my responsibility. What happened between you and Michael Rossi? You have been behaving like a madwoman ever since. See last issue, by the way.
Ooh. I am a mad woman.
Rogue, do not bottle your emotions within you. I know the agony that can bring. We are your teammates, your friends. If you will allow, let us help.
You're wearing gloves. That makes it safe for you to reach out. No risk. I can't steal your mind and memories, destroy your life the way I have the others. I don't want your pity, Storm, and there's nothing you or your precious Professor X can do to help. Stay away from me, will you? Just leave me alone.
Nice. I have to admit, she's winning me over as a character. Like I've enjoyed.
Rogue?
Yeah, like I was a fan of Rogue as a kid anyway, because I started later in the series and she was already developed.
Right.
But when she joined the team, like her first appearance and other stuff I'd read early on, there was like nothing there for me to kind of latch on to. She was really one-dimensional. But ever since she went to Japan with the team, put herself out on the line, and now she's taking that risk of being vulnerable and like figuring things out and trying to be a better person, and has her own personal struggles. And she's like a good underdog at the moment, and I'm rooting for her, which I didn't expect to have that feeling.
Agreed. It's this series, right? They bring in a character, and you spend enough time for that character, and they really start to grow on you.
Well, Claremont also does these things where he puts them through these ridiculous emotional ups and downs.
Sure.
That at the time seem, I don't know. I don't want to say childish or immature, but they seem rather simple and melodramatic. But they work.
Yeah.
They work. So, a year later, I'm impacted by the journey that the character's on, even if I didn't love what happened, like the events that happened. I start to have the feelings, which is maybe a sign that I might one day grow up to be a man after all.
After all. You're going to get there. You're going to get there.
Maybe. You picked the perfect weekend to be off with the New Mutants, Professor. You are sorely missed and needed. Rogue's bitterness and fear over her uncontrollable powers may well drive her back to the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. And heaven only knows what will come of Peter's conversation with Kitty. I heard her sobbing, poor thing. Ileana was with her. It felt somehow wrong for me to intrude. I love Peter dearly, but better he had died on the Beyonders world than return to bring my kitten such grief. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's something else there, Storm.
Meanwhile, upstairs. About time, bub. I was beginning to think you'd never show.
Stop, Wolverine. I was walking, trying to clear my thoughts.
Little late, ain't you? The damage has been done.
Let me pass, please.
Nope. You're coming with me into town for a little long overdue talk.
Some other day, perhaps. I am really not in the mood.
I don't recall giving you a choice, Peter.
Wolverine? Wolverine! Some jerk. Logan, you promised you wouldn't do anything without me. Don't bother with the door, Peter. I'll teleport inside. Nightcrawler. Moisture moid. Ugh, the stench. I'll open a window. I know you'd prefer seeing Peter by yourself, Logan, but occasionally it's useful to have a referee along as well, just in case things get out of hand.
Wonderful. Kitten, dinner is on the table.
Thanks, Aurora. I'm not hungry.
You have been up here by yourself all afternoon. Are you packing?
Uh-huh. I phoned the professor, explained things. We had a good talk. Figured I needed a change of scene, a couple of weeks of relative normalcy, you know? I haven't seen Dad in ages. I owe him a visit. I'm catching the morning flight to Chicago. Maybe afterwards I'll stop at my mom's. The professor gave me his permission.
For how long?
Nothing's definite yet. I'll play things by ear.
Is this goodbye?
Part of me wants it to be. I can't stop crying, Aurora, but I'll die before I let Peter see my tears. He doesn't deserve them. I don't care how unfair that sounds. When I'm out of tears, then maybe I'll be back. You know what I wish, more than anything? That I could resurrect Peter's beloved to life, to perfect health, right here in Salem Center. At least then I'd have something to fight. How do you compete with a ghost? Oh, cripes, here I go again.
Bear with it, child. Endure. The pain will pass.
I hate him, Aurora, with all my heart. I love him.
Without getting into that too much, that's good. It's good. Without getting into it too much, though. That's kind of where the Kitty Pryde Wolverine Limited series starts.
Okay.
Is Kitty in
I haven't
Chicago.
read it yet. I mean, you lent it to me. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. Kitty's in Chicago, and stuff happens. So I've gotten about 3 issues in myself.
Okay.
And it is the most uninspired art in terms of I couldn't stand Al Milgram's art as a kid, and I don't enjoy it in any way for Marvel right now. If he was like a friend who was doing underground comics or indie comics, I can get behind it 100%. But when you think about a Wolverine limited series, obviously you can't help but compare it to Frank Miller and Paul Smith and John Romita Jr. and even John Byrne and Milgram's stuff. It's his poses are just so uninteresting, and angles are boring, and I kind of wouldn't want to inflict it upon anyone but you. I wouldn't want to inflict it upon our wonderful viewers, but I might put together a summary just because it is important in terms of Kitty's going to go into that series one woman and come out another one. It's a big transformative 6 issues for her. So it's worth talking about, but I don't think it's worth 1 episode, let alone 6. And just for conversation, since we are talking Leafs won, they slowed down in the second period, let New York back in the game, but they won 7-3.
7-3.
They poured it on in the third. Just putting that out there because it gives
me that out there.
Peace of mind.
That's some good news. All right on.
Yeah. Chuck says, this issue's hitting the blue, yellow, magenta color triangle really hard. Well, it's fundamentals, man. It's fundamentals. It works. David says, let me be the first to say ouch for Al Milgram. David, do you like Al Milgram's art? Do I need to look at it a certain way to appreciate it, or is there a moment in time where he was doing work that I can learn from and appreciate, or is he better as an editor than he is an artist? I don't know. Interesting. I'm curious to know if I'm missing something. But I remember when he did Secret Wars 2, again, I like those issues that I would find at the corner store. They were all unreadable because of his drawing. And that was my point of view as a 10 and 11-year-old.
There's a Secret Wars 2?
Yeah, it's so bad. The Beyonder comes to Earth as the naive alien who wants to experience human stuff.
Okay.
And of course, he has like a Jerry curl mullet, and he has to wear like 80s shoulder pad jackets, and he, does all the typical weird visiting Earth things.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. All right.
Yeah. All right. I can't remember in the past. I think you read Mystique, no? Is that
Maybe.
correct?
I mean, sure, I can.
Dallas. En route from the airport, Dr. Valerie Cooper of the National Security Council and Raven Darkholm, Deputy Director of the Defense Advanced Research Planning Agency.
Hey, before we get into the next panel, it'd be funny if there was like a, because that's like her name and her title with this agency.
Mm-hmm.
Like at some point, it's like, you are reporting to, let me check the name out, Raven Darkholm. Doesn't sound suspicious whatsoever. Turns out she's the Deputy Director of the Defense Advanced. Like, I just love Raven Darkholm, bad person McGee.
Yes.
I'm sure your first day will be fine here. Report to Raven Darkholm for orientation.
Bob Kelly's Mutant Affairs bill certainly stirred up the hornet's nest as we expected.
This is the year for anti-government paranoia.
No, I'm pretty sure this is the year for anti-government paranoia.
You mean this is the year?
Thank you, George Orwell. Whew. A pity people don't realize mutants may prove more dangerous than nuclear weapons. We're in a race against time to develop and exploit our mutant assets before the Soviets or anyone else do.
Mutants are born, Val, not made. You can't rush that process.
True for the present, but there are alternative means of detecting and deterring hostile activity. Hopefully, your man Forge can provide them.
Oh. What would you say, Valerie, if you knew that I was one of those very beings you're so concerned about? Not merely a mutant, but a terrorist. Mystique, leader of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I'll take any measures necessary to protect myself and ensure my group's continued survival and success. Whatever your plans, my dear. Whatever the device Forge has crafted for you. You're both beaten before you've begun. And quite possibly as good as dead.
I love like the idea that Val's looking over at her is like,
right.
Hey, are you doing some like evil planning right now?
Are you plotting in your head?
You monologuing?
Because you monologuing internally. Because you've got this like look on your face, this like sinister smile, like you are, and you've raised your eyebrow. Yeah. That only happens when you do.
Chuck says Raven rocking the Velma look here.
Yeah,
big time. Big time.
For sure. We saw great. We guys saw, by the way, we saw great Velma and Daphne cosplay at Mississauga Comic Expo.
Yes, we did.
That was really, really well done.
Jason says Secret Wars 2 is trash. So many tie-ins.
All right.
Yeah, it was.
Take your word for it.
I can make you read one issue and you'll be mad at me.
I haven't read the first Secret Wars.
You'll be mad at me for that too. Except for the fact that once in a while, under incredibly tight deadlines and no inspiration and no script to help him, Mike Zeck will pull out just like really cool moments. And then the cover of the first one just sells the whole series.
Right. Gotcha.
Manhattan. Monahans. A West Village watering hole. Still more neighborhood than Tread. Sorry, I'm burping from that beer. There we go. Where the low lights and dark wood walls make it easier for Nightcrawler to remain inconspicuous. And the patrons pretty much mind their own business.
Dinner was excellent, my friends. Yeah, but it left me with a terrible thirst. Peter, would you mind ordering the first round?
3 drafts and a whiskey chaser for the cowboy. Okay, but I want to see some ID first. You look a little young to me, fella.
I am nearly 20.
Got proof?
Does his shirt say he's the bar? Oh, don't bother the bartender.
I believe that's what it says, yeah.
Okay, anyway. Peter's
what is it? No, hold on.
No,
It says something else on the back.
Oh,
so you can't see it in yours because it's been reprinted and it's
tiny. Right, of course. What does it say on the back?
You can't see it at all, can you?
Not at all.
So the front says, "Don't bother the bartender."
Yeah.
And the back says, "Unless you're female."
Wow. Wow. Well, way to go, Chris.
You need to have this version to be able to see that joke. That's great. I'm so glad there's some sort of insider, and I chose to read it here instead of in the regular issue. Beautiful.
Beautiful. All right. Peter's being codded.
So what? He's legal.
Logan, I know your intentions for tonight.
If you're smart, then Elf, you'll stay out of my way.
He's just a boy.
Then he deserves a spanking. If he's a man, though. If he's a man, though, it's time he faces the consequences of his actions. Either way, I'm taking a piece out of him. Hours later, wow. Yeah, we get David's asking about the drinking age in 1985. Yeah, it was low, man. It wasn't up to 21 yet. There you go. Hours later, after a great many drinks and increasingly heated words. Just also note, like, this is Romita Classic here. He just establishing shot is one of the 5, and then the other ones can be the other things. You get one full shot of everybody, you get some close-ups, like just textbook composition in terms of like what's going to be in each panel. Yeah, we can all learn. It's really helpful to set context and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yo, Kitty, an apology, and us an explanation.
I told you, I fell in love with another. Is that a crime?
What you felt wasn't love.
How do you know? Are your enhanced animal senses able to see into my heart and soul? What right do you tell me how to run my life?
Oh, dude. You're making a bad mistake, Peter. You're hurting 2 people I care for. Yourself, dummy, and Kitty.
Should I have lied to her, pretended emotions that no longer exist? That would have been true cruelty. Are you so certain of your feelings, I mean? Nah, absolutely.
You sure you ain't just scared?
Of what?
Sometimes, bub, women's as hard to deal with as losing. Kitty's not a kid anymore. You 2 were going beyond playing games. You were thinking marriage, a life together. At the same time, you suddenly had competition from Doug Ramsey, someone Kitty's age, as smart as her, with the same upbringing and interests.
With something on his mind.
With something on his mind,
Languages.
Yeah, he wanted to Doug Ramsey her.
No.
It's easy to moon over a lost love, to fantasize over what might have been. Secure in the knowledge that it'll never happen, it makes a great excuse for not facing the risks and demands of reality.
Who are you to talk? You walked away from the woman you profess to love.
Jason notices that Juggernaut's there in the crowd. It's like, it's good. It's like a little, right? It's a little foreshadow.
Yeah.
He's there in like the very first panel in the room, or the first interior shot. He's there, which is great. So it comes as no surprise when he's there later. It's a smart choice. I left Mariko because she asked me. Our separation's a matter of honor and duty. For us, that transcends love, no matter how much it hurts.
If I had truly loved Kitty Wolverine, how then could I have been so easily fallen for another?
Fear makes a body do stupid things sometimes. Whoa.
You call me a coward?
Yup. I know that scent. It's been a while since our paths last crossed. Murphy's Law would bring him in here tonight. There's only the one familiar scent. At least he didn't bring his partner. He's close. Bingo. He's in civvies, relaxed and on the prowl. Looks like the X-Men are the last thing on his mind, which suits me fine. He hasn't spotted us. I aim to keep it that way. We gotta get out of this joint fast and quietly without attracting any attention. He's seen us out of costume. He knows our faces. On your feet, boy. You need some air.
Was ist?
Port ahead, Elf. Meet us outside. I'll explain there.
And suppose I do not wish to leave.
Petey! That's it. That's torn it. Hey!
Oh, forgive me, sir. It was an accident. I will be glad to repay.
Darn straight, bozo. Only muddy ain't good enough. I'm taking it out of your hide.
Wolf! Had I not transformed into my armored self, that impact might have killed me. I did not desire a fight, comrade, but since you insist, I will give you one. You will never forget.
David says Wolverine's been reading a different X-Men comic than me. Well, what do you mean? You're saying Wolverine's read on things is different than how it's been communicated so far? I'm curious if there's a specific thing you have in mind. It also could be Claremont retconning it, but I'm interested to hear your take, as always.
We'd better stop this, Wolverine. The man at the bar hasn't a prayer.
Nice thought, pal. But if anyone's in trouble, it's Petey. Duck! We'll move in if things get out of hand. Till then, I aim to sit back and enjoy the show. It's what the boy deserves. What I was planning to do to him myself.
Right. Good luck, Wolverine.
Ruffians! 20 on a big guy.
Sammy, they're both big.
Shouldn't someone call the cops?
Be my guest. Phone's behind the bar.
How kind you are and handsome. I feel so much safer with you beside me.
Ooh, rando conversation. Or is it?
Exactly.
We'll see.
And you always got to wonder like who these people are, right? Who
Totally.
these faces are.
Jim Shooter.
No, I don't see Shooter there, but maybe. Maybe one of them is. You know, it's fun. It's always fun to see these guys get drawn. You're drawing
Totally.
people they know. Yeah, really cute. David adds, he says, his read on the Colossus Kitty relationship is left field to me. Like the fact they're talking marriage and they're so far ahead in things. It always felt like they were, I mean, the way I was reading it as we've been going along is more like they are dating and it's sincere. And it's like, you know, they both care deeply for each other, but they're not they're not on a trajectory formally.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, they didn't really. They show them have tender moments.
Yeah, and Kitty was like playful and flirting, but it never seemed like they were actually, you know, had made any kind of
real
overt
commitment to each other.
Yeah. David continues with this. He says, "I don't know when this. I don't know when they got grown up and serious, and Colossus was thinking of wedding bells, like was meant to happen. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Maybe Wolverine's just smarter than all of us.
True. Maybe he could smell it.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna mash you flat as tin, Rusky. It's time you and me. Sorry. It's you and me this time, one-on-one. You ain't got your wimp ex-buddies to save your butt.
I do not need them. Who is this madman? He knows of the X-Men and obviously hates us, but I do not recognize him. And what of Wolverine and Nightcrawler? Are they just watching?
I come home to this crummy burg for a lousy visit, and wham! That lousy wall crawler traps me in a block of solid concrete. A somewhat biased recap of the events in Spider-Man 230. Thanks, Anne.
But also shout out because, as a fellow archivist, she's saying archivist Anne Nesenti. And
yeah,
I like the use of that term. There you go, man. Thanks so much.
And I don't remember exactly, but I do believe John Romita Jr. draws that issue as well of Juggernaut versus Spidey. But I could be wrong.
I also, in that third panel, I want to say to Colossus, that's a load-bearing post. And, and if the Danger Room has taught me anything, he should understand that.
I finally bust my way out, and then for my favorite bar for a little R&R. I meet a nice lady, things click for once. She's into really big dudes.
With really small fingers.
And then you muck it up. You X-Men have made my life miserable, Colossus. He knows my name. And here's where Juggernaut returns the compliment.
So, does he, and just again, because it was a little confusing, I read this like visually, he's picked up the bar and slammed it on his head?
He has picked up the bar and slammed it on Colossus's head.
Right.
So
and
the
that
bar stayed together while he picked it up.
Okay. And that load-bearing post is still damaged. Okay. So now
yeah,
structurally,
that load-bearing post is flying out of Colossus's hand. It's hovering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there's some telepathy involved here too. Cool.
Perhaps. Well, it would be telekinesis. Telepathy is reading minds.
Oh, telekinesis? No, that's starting fires in your brain. What's that one?
No, that's pyrokinesis. Anyway, Romita splits art duties with a jobber I don't know, but they're the best Spidey comics ever, pretty much.
Okay,
there
cool.
Because Juggy looks real tasty to her, wink, wink. Yeah, maybe. Oh, we're referring to the girl from before. Ooh,
that's right.
Oh, yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see. So he put the bar on his head. My bar!
Thank goodness your insurance covers superhero battles.
Hey, these days in a Big Apple, you can't survive without it.
People, this is no fun fight. They mean business.
Ladies and gents, I have a suggestion. Run! Monahans. The chick split. Great. Thanks a lot, Potato Brain. That's another one you owe me. Too bad you're already flattened, chump. I was just getting started.
What a surprise, comrade. So was I. So
that's what I like. Oh, go ahead.
So I'm just gonna go back for a second. The girl he's with is the girl who ends up with the other guy.
Well,
different girl.
You can go back. There you go.
Got purple on.
She got purple on.
I mean, similar face and hair, and in this panel, she's got yellow turtleneck. So it could be a coloring.
Okay, go back to it before.
Purple.
Yeah, go back to purple.
Yeah.
In the first drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just look close. Sorry. In the first drawing, she has a little bit of bangs.
Okay.
That might just be some inconsistency. In the second drawing of her, where he says, I'm taking it out of your hide.
Yeah.
She does not have bangs.
She does not, no. And then in this one, this woman doesn't have bangs.
No, and she won't later as well.
No.
But I do think it's supposed to be read as the same woman.
Do we think it's supposed to be read as the same? Okay. Which
I think so. It makes the story way better.
It does make the story way better. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why I had to go back, folks, as we get to the end of the issue. But if you haven't aware of what's going to happen, but
right,
it makes the story better. Okay.
So was I. Right. Okay. That's what I like about you, X-Men, boy. You're gluttons for punishment.
I am no boy.
Touchy. Hit a nerve, did I? Well, if you don't like what I'm saying, you know how to shut me up. Kiss me on the mouth.
Like you mean it.
Come on, Colossus. Let's see what you can do. Take your best shot.
Logan, the bar's a shambles. We have to do something.
Got any suggestions? That's Juggernaut, pal. The closest thing on Earth to an irresistible force. Look, if insurance won't cover the damages, I will. This is one scrap worth paying for.
Because I'm also really wealthy.
Yeah.
He's been around a long time, okay?
Yep.
And he invested his money wisely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Your line
And
is-
Colossus?
He said he don't need us, Elf. I'm taking him at his word. That sucker was my Sunday punch. And this is what my partner Black Tom Cassidy'd call the coup de grace. See, he doesn't say coup de grace. I
No,
don't
of
want
course
to, like he's Juggernaut. This is a coup de
So
grace.
good reading of that. Solid.
Thank you. And then look at that amazing Bill Sienkiewicz drawing of Iron Fist, which, by the way, is the first time I ever saw Iron Fist. Was this ad? Sienkiewicz does a pair of ads. Obviously, Power Man is the other one, and he's like furious faced. And as a kid, when I saw both, I did not really understand what their dynamic was. I thought like one guy was mad and one guy was like not. That was the dynamic of the book. It was like we got a hot tempered guy and a not hot tempered guy. But when you look at these now and you look at like what comic book art looks like, I'm like, oh, that's referenced from a model, 100%. You know, but it looks really good.
It does, yeah.
I want to read a Bill Sienkiewicz Power Man Iron Fist series.
I also like it's funny, you know. So just to talk Iron Man for a quick Iron Fist for a quick second. You know, this high collar look always looks so goofy to me, and I love in the Ed Brubaker run in the first with is it David Aja? Is that
Yeah,
the art? I love in the first 3 pages he fights Hydra and they tear up his costume, so they redo it.
Yeah, that's a classic cartoonist thing to do, right?
It's a
Destroy
great.
the
I
costume.
just I love those, and it's so much more sleek and streamlined. But just they get rid of the collar pretty quickly.
It's funny how it comes in cycles. You know, like the collar thing. It looks so cool and goofy at the same time. But if you want to have a grassroots, like street level character, you want to put him in.
Yeah.
You know, the green tight shirt and then the wrapped hands.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that's all he really needs. In the David Aja series, I think it's Brubaker and then another writer together, is it not?
Might be.
And yeah, but it's not coming to me. But anyway, Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
The coup de grace. Coup de Gracie.
Yep.
And he drops the whole building down on Colossus, and the building lets out all the dust and fart come out of it.
Oh.
Top that, fella, if you can. Not too shabby, Muscles. I missed you, clowns. How come? Just lucky, I guess. You looking for a piece of this action? Nope. Smart play, shrimp. You tell the kid from me. He did himself proud. He's got guts and heart. And he throws a mean right cross.
I like this. Like respect.
Yep.
This is good. I like this. I like that whole scene. You want a piece of this? Nope.
Yes, Matt Fraction. Thank you, David.
Matt Fraction. Thank you.
But if him or you or any of the X-Men get in my way again, even by accident, I won't be so nice. Neither will we. This is for the owner to fix his place. Be seeing ya. Count on it, bub. How you doing, hero? All the pieces still work.
Leave me be. I need no help, Wolverine. Least of all from you. Where is Juggernaut?
Gone. Fight's over, Petey. You lost.
You let me fight alone. You didn't even try to stop him.
Yep.
We are X-Men. We are supposed to stand by each other.
That's the theory.
But you betrayed that trust.
Oh, yeah? We stand together, is that right? Through thick and thin, no matter what?
Yes.
We go to the wall for each other?
Yes.
Pay any price, make any sacrifice. Our lives, even our honor?
Yes.
Like Kitty did for you? Bitch.
Ooh.
She's 14, Peter. But to save you, she agreed to marry Caliban and join the Morlocks. If Caliban hadn't released her from that vow, she'd be there today. You never even said thank you. Food for thought, eh?
Truth bombs. Also, I do like how Juggernaut's like, I'll pay for this damage.
Yeah.
Like
the
he's
guy
just
wasn't
like,
villaining.
yeah,
I
it's
wasn't
like,
being a bad guy. Like,
no,
you know.
I dig it. I dig it.
It's also, he said it's his favorite
Yeah, right?
joint.
He came in
right?
there. Yeah. That was good. It's good. Also, I don't know how much is in that roll. That's a whole building that's coming down, but it's like that scene in oh gosh, what is it? Oh, in Dodgeball, where Ben Stiller tries to bribe Vince Vaughn, and he's like, "I bet you haven't seen what $10,000 looks like, or $100,000." It's just a small little stack. Pretty impressive, huh? Good time. All right. That is very harsh, Logan, and unforgiving.
So am I. Peter never once considered her feelings hurt. What she was going through. He never gave her a chance to explain or them both one. Sorry, let me read this again. I'm having trouble seeing. So he never gave her the chance to explain or them both one to work things out. It's like the boy just cut her out of his heart.
He's very young.
He owed her, Giri, a blood debt obligation, and he welshed. Wait, is that okay to say?
Welsh? Like, as in, like, is that like a reference to being Welsh?
I wonder. It's not okay.
And to not, it doesn't sound okay, that's for sure.
Yeah. Moving on.
That's the first time I've heard that. Huh.
I've heard that people welched on a bet, but I've always heard it with the CH.
Right.
But this is the same thing.
And Claremont's English, right?
Yeah. And then American, pretty early on.
Okay. Right.
Interested. Yeah, I'm used to the term welched, and I wonder if it's the same. It's got to be the same thing because it's being used exactly in the same way.
Excuse me.
But I bet you it comes from some English person being mean to the Welsh.
Well, that's kind of where I'm thinking it comes from, yeah.
Yeah. Keep going here, though. A body can't do that, especially to someone they love. More so to someone they respect. I'm glad he had to learn the hard way. It's a taste of what he did to Kitty. He knows what he did. Excuse me. Next time, the outcome. He'll act from choice, not ignorance.
Is there hope?
Whatever the outcome, pardon me.
Is there hope, Logan? Will there be a next time for Peter and Kitty?
That's their business, pal. Their decision. Their lives. Here's Claremont. He can't help but name people.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to read this? You want to be her? Okay.
You should feel blessed, Stuart. Only the very finest, the best humanity has to offer, are called upon to sacrifice their lives for the goddess incarnate. Unfortunately, you are but a morsel. That man mountain I chose earlier would have been a feast. So there you go. No matter, there will be other opportunities to claim him and his friends. After 2,000 years of exile, Stuart! Celine is once more free to walk the wide, wonderful world, to hunt and in time, to rule.
The past of future days is next.
Wow, that's a clever turn of phrase.
Is it? And then we get this another Bill Sienkiewicz ad
Yes.
Don't call them X-Babies anymore. And it's like a whole new version of these characters.
Is that the start of the run? Like the Demon Bear?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And it's like, I want to read that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a nice looking stuff.
That does look pretty.
After 2,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth. Now, I get the sense that this is a character of Selene that she consumes people, like vampire style.
Right.
And we did read 2 issues of X-Men versus Vampires, Dracula mostly.
Yes.
And there was another character there, I believe it was Lilith,
Yes.
which was his daughter.
Yes.
So, was Selene there too?
I don't know.
But you were there. You read
I remember. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Is this the first appearance of Selene?
Well, I guess. You're making me look. Don't make me look.
I do, and I'm glad that we did cover that territory of it is her with Juggernaut, because they just saved Juggernaut's life.
True.
So there you go.
So she's a Sal Buscema and Chris Claremont character. So Claremont always goes back. So she's first appearing in New Mutants number 9, 1983.
Oh, okay.
So about 6 months before this. So she's a New Mutants antagonist. And I'm sure David and the rest of the people in the chat will give us more information. And so that wasn't her that we would have seen in those issues.
Okay.
That's cool, though.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, man. Boom. She's a mutant witch.
Mutant,
yeah,
and also
New Mutants.
shows up in X-Men Dark Phoenix.
What?
The movie.
There's a movie?
What's it called? The one with
Yeah, but what is where
there's
is she
a character called Selene who is part of Magneto's crew who dies fighting the bad guys on the train.
Okay.
Train scene.
Psychic vampire and sorceress.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. I know there's some exciting covers with her coming up. And
cool.
That's where I first saw her on comic book covers, but I didn't really know the character.
Yeah.
And we've got some really cool stuff, of course, coming up as we get into those issues with Selene. And we're going to meet in 184. Yeah, it's her on the cover fighting Xavier. Jason says that she and Magma are enemies from a secret Roman colony in South America.
Oh.
Cool.
Who's Magma?
Magma is one of the characters in New Mutants.
Yeah.
So you see how you can... Okay, the bottom, that's Wolfsbane.
Yes.
Then above her is Ileana.
Sunspot.
Magic. Sunspot to the right.
Yep.
Above him is
Danny.
Magma.
Oh, that's Magma's
then
above.
Cannonball, then Danny Moonstar.
Oh.
Karma has left the team. She's not there right now.
Right.
And Danny Moonstar goes by the name Mirage at this point.
Mirage, okay.
Yeah.
Karma has left the team.
So Magma and Magic are new additions.
Yes.
And eventually we'll see Cypher there. Doug Ramsey.
And the one and only Doug Ramsey.
Yep.
And Warlock, right?
Warlock will join. And that's like all the characters in the first iteration of New Mutants. Like that's the sort of the full cast up to a point.
Understood. Good.
And then I think that might be almost everybody until like Magneto takes over as headmaster.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually we'll start to see, of course, when Louise Simonson comes on and then Liefeld comes on the series. And there are no good characters kind of left kicking around. And he brings in all those, the new version with becoming X-Force. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
David says, I must have missed her in Dark Phoenix, distracted by the lasso Dreadsman. Yeah, he was pretty distracting.
Yeah, he was very distracting. But she gets killed during that training thing, or she gets like attacked on the train and kind of like taken off with one of the aliens, I guess. Anyway, and
Okay,
Magneto's
that's
like,
cool.
no, because Magneto has a heart. So there you go.
Yep. So we're going to see a couple stories come to a head in the next little while. Next issue, we're going to, well, I mean, without spoiling, Forge is coming.
Yeah. Well, you gave me that cool looking special issue. Sienkiewicz, I think, is on art. So.
No.
No, I'm Barry Windsor Smith.
You got it.
Right.
And so that's coming soon. Those Barry Windsor Smith issues. So there's lots of neat stuff coming further down the road. Is there another page with letters or no?
Let me find out. There was a bullpen.
Crack open the original here.
There's a diaper wearing Hulk.
That's always such a disturbing thing.
It is. And a sweet He-Man video game.
Yeah.
And then, but there was a bullpen bulletins. Is that the letter?
True.
So, but it's
this is Jim Shooter doing his.
It's Shim Juder.
Oh, dude, look what's there in the hype box. Alpha Flight 12, perhaps the most eagerly anticipated story of the year and the most fearfully dreaded. In this issue, a member of Alpha Flight will die. Written and drawn by John Byrne.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah. That's insane.
That's totally wild.
Very exciting. What issues G.I. Joe up to at this point? 25. Oh, my God. At this point in my life, I've been reading comics for 6 months. It is so much fun. What an old time. All right. And let's bring it back to that.
Okay.
Whoa. Chris.
Yeah.
Big night, man.
Big night.
We've scored 7 goals. I can't believe it.
So many things happened during this hour-plus live stream.
Yeah.
Found out that a beloved character actor passed away, and the Leafs scored 7 goals.
I got another text message from my cousins telling me about Andre Braugher.
Well,
he's really beloved.
He is, and I mean, I'm watching right now with my kids, and they love Captain Holt.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He steals scenes. It's amazing.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, well, there you go. But that brings us to the end of our episode.
Our scene stealing show.
Yeah. We're going to continue on as planned. With next week, we'll do 184. And then the next night, you and I are meeting for burgers.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm very excited for. And then I think within a couple days, I'm going on vacation.
Yeah, we're gonna have to in 2 weeks' time because it'll fall on what will be Boxing Day, I believe. So I don't know about availability.
Either way, I'm not expecting that we're going to continue while I'm in sunny Florida. Yay!
Unless you need a distraction from.
Okay, I don't need a lot to do this. I am bringing a computer. Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on Wednesday next week. Okay. If you want to continue to do this over the break. Yeah. But I'm really excited because I know exactly what my first day sleeping in will be this year.
Wait, your first what?
Day sleeping in.
Oh, what day is that?
Boxing Day. It's the first time I'll be able to sleep in a long time.
Will you spend some time in Florida, the opportunity to go and look for figs while you're down there?
I will go to Target.
Is that something that you will do? Yeah.
I will go to Target. I will probably hit up maybe a Walmart.
Right.
And there are a couple comic stores around, but the markup probably will be not nice. We'll go to a GameStop.
Yeah. Go GameStop.
There's enough stuff in the States that I'm looking to see.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely get some action figures for sure.
Nice.
For sure.
That's I came back from the States, so we can have go some pretty sweet cheap ones. So that was good. All Star Wars, actually. Turns out they were all Star Wars. But
speaking of figs from trees, David. Yes, you're right.
Well,
like Florida's famous for its figs.
yeah, it used to be figs and then changed it to orange.
Did you see? I actually haven't followed up on this, but I saw a post today that Hasbro is doing. You know how they do those vintage-looking Kenner style Star Wars 5 POA Star Wars figures. There's going to be a line of or a wave of Phantom Menace ones. So there'll be a Qui-Gon, and did you see that?
Yes, I did see that. It's with McFarlane. Did I get that right?
I did not know.
I saw a Hasbro McFarlane thing too.
That sounds crazy. It's two different toy companies.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Either way, the idea of getting those other movies, getting a Darth Maul in that style, and getting a Qui-Gon, in a Jedi, like a 5 POA style, that stuff really appeals to me in a big way. So
Hasbro and McFarlane joined forces for comic and figure packs. Comic and figure packs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so there you go.
He's hilarious. Florida's Shelbyville has freshly squeezed fig juice.
And let's all have some freshly squeezed.
All right, dude. Anything else you want to cover before we call it a night?
I think we're good.
I'm gonna read some.
I think we're good. Yeah, I gotta read some Cutler
by David Cutler.
That's right. Congratulations, by the way, folks. David Cutler in the chat. Alpha Flight book on there. Go check out.
Unbelievable.
Very cool.
I mean,
very cool.
Alpha Flight is a dream come true. I'm sure. At least it is for me. I don't know about David. I'm hoping it is. Super cool.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everyone for showing up tonight. That was a fun episode. There's a lot of emotion in that book. This one particular, this issue. So,
yeah.
But that's what makes the series so great. Is you get these real comics that seem to transcend the medium sometimes. So it's really nice.
Agreed. It was a good one. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And Chris, thank you for those really touching scenes where you had to break your own heart and be in love with yourself.
Every day in the mirror, man. Every day in the mirror.
Toy Rensu says, I'd love to listen to this in the background while I work on stuff. Yeah. That's good. Well, thank you. Sincerely. Yeah. David says, one of the best issues in the run. Great episode, guys. Thank you, David. You guys are sweet. Jason also says, awesome read. Toy Rensu says, good show, lads. You guys are very nice. Have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves.
Enjoy the holidays.
Comic. Yep. If you're gonna, happy holidays. If you're gonna read a comic other than reading Group of 7, keep it X-Men, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Keep it X.
Keep it X.
Keep it X.
All right, everyone. Take care. Have a good night.